Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Mind Your Business Show. I am your host, Milt Walker, the maestro, joined today by none other than the Private Money Godfather himself, Mr. Tony Calloway. How are you today, sir?
Maestro, man, I am fabulous this morning.
Good,
Happy
good.
Juneteenth to everyone out there. This is the first
National
federal holiday
holiday,
that's
right?
been, yeah, yep, that's right. And it's the first federal holiday that's been added in over 40 years, and I'm glad that it's recognizing a very important and historic event in the history of our nation, and certainly quite assignable to us celebrating the formal acknowledgement of the end of slavery in the South for us African Americans or people of African descent, however you caption it. But hey, I'm excited because today is another beautiful day here in Columbus, Georgia, the west coast of Georgia. And as you always, as Tupac said, the west coast is the best coast. So,
I like that. I like that. Throw up
so
the W's. Throw up the W's.
And as you can tell, I'm in a delightful mood this morning, as always, because we're so delighted that you have made this show, the Mind Your Business Show, an important part of your Saturday and an important part of your life. And so, Maestro, give everybody an update, man. What's been happening in your wonderful world?
Oh man, just blessings upon blessings, brother. I mean, all I can say is I'm grateful, and that includes to all the people, including yourself, who continuously support. Shout out to my dad, of course. Tomorrow's Father's Day. I
Yes.
want to give a big shout out to the originator, the original maestro, where I get all of my critical thinking skills, where I kind of built on a lot of the things that I've learned, my problem solving skills. They all came from him. He always used to tell us, you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. So that caused us to get into a mind state of how can I make sure that this is done the best way possible the first time I do it, so that I can, move on to the next thing, right? So to be more efficient. So that's kind of, and it's a very basic concept, right? He was in the military as well. He was in the Air Force,
Mm-hmm.
and he actually got out of the Air Force to take care of us.
Wow. Cool.
So it was one of those things. From a very early age, I've had my dad in my life, and I'm so grateful that he's still there and able to keep giving me guidance as he's further down the trail than I am, and be able to look back and give his son some guidance, and I'm just so grateful to that. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to my dad on this day, and
Well,
yeah.
that
So
is
that's
well,
that's that's my that's my update.
well, that is a great tribute, man, and your father did a great job with you and for all your siblings who have not met. And so I want
Yeah,
to say Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, and look forward to celebrating.
absolutely.
Unfortunately, this is the second
Yourself
year out.
included, right?
I'm sorry.
Yourself included.
Well, thank you. I do. I didn't want to exercise any self-aggrandizement, but I got two great
It's
kids,
okay,
one
man.
grandchild, one on the way.
That's right.
And to Bart Noldy, who may or may not see this today, or hopefully you'll see it soon. He just had another. The son just had another grandchild. So again, celebrating fathers. I know Mother's Day is almost like a national holiday, and I just want to do my part. Maestro, thanks for bringing that up, and to make all the dads out there feel special because you
Absolutely.
deserve it. Now, our topic is the Q&A with the Godfather. So for those of you who are tuning in, who are there right now, if you have any questions about anything about the Private Money Syndicate, about Private Money Godfather, which is our affiliate side of our business where we get people involved as private money brokers. We're seeking to grow that with the leadership of Nikki Johnson McNeely with McNeely B Consulting. We've got answers for you. Now, there are some basic questions that we get all the time that I'm prepared to answer. But if you have a question or something you want to know specific to you, we've got a little shy of an hour to make sure that we can entertain those questions, inform you, and let you know exactly how. With our help, you can power your dreams with private money. So before I get into that, I do want to ask the maestro, who do we have tuning in already at this point so we can give some acknowledgments and some shout outs?
Yeah, so we got quite a few people watching. We got a couple people who actually are talking in the chat right now. Satish VM Satman is joining us again. Our
My
brother
man.
Satish says, great morning to everyone. Hope you are doing great. Happy Juneteenth, keeping us on our toes with the screen switch. Right, right. I got to, man. I got to. You know, I got to keep it live around here, man. So Satish also says Happy Father's Day to all the dads and fathers and single mothers.
Awesome.
Marlon Davis says good morning.
Hey,
Edward Winton is checking in and says good morning as well, and everybody else is just watching. And if you're
all right.
watching
Well,
this, we appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and go check out the YouTube page. Make sure you check out our website where you can go back and watch other previous episodes as well. Yeah,
exactly. That's right. And thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, we need everyone to go to YouTube to the Private Money Godfather channel and subscribe because we got some awesome things coming up. You're going to be hearing more and more about the 10,000 Dreams Challenge. And that's all I can say for now. But you want to definitely be part of the posse. You want to be a subscriber to our YouTube channel, privatemoneygodfather.com, and like, follow, and share with everybody because our goal is to get those 10,000 dreams. We're going to have them all over the website. And we've got some awesome rewards for those of you who follow us, who participate in what we do and help us to reach the masses because we have what everybody needs, which is money. And so let's talk about this right now.
let's do
What
it.
is private money? And
That's my question. What is that? What is it?
all right. Well, private money is basically, just to keep it fundamental, anything that is not through the traditional regulated banking industry. Now, if you go to a bank or mortgage company, there is a significant amount of regulation in terms of how these lending institutions can conduct business as far as their ability to make certain types of loans based on criteria that are ascribed by the Banking and Finance Commission, by the 6 different layers of regulation at the federal level, and then there's levels of regulation at the state. So needless to say, whatever regulatory body has jurisdiction and imposes these various rules that can change from time to time based on what's going on in the economy, it is more burdensome and challenging for someone to qualify for financing using traditional bank or mortgage company financing. So to the extent that anything that does not fall into that realm is considered private money or non-bank or non-traditional lending. You might hear it termed in many different ways.
Right.
One of the common terms is hard money. You may hear of hard money loans, but now what it is not is private money loans are not, so that you understand and don't get this confused, are not predatory loans. Okay. Now we don't do any predatory lending, and that is a genre all into itself, which it is regulated, believe it or not, in some cases, and in some cases it's not. But from the standpoint that what we're talking about here at the Private Money Syndicate or just non-traditional financing alternatives for businesses and for real estate investors. So we cover the entire waterfront as far as private money facilitation is concerned. So the key thing is, in terms of defining private money, is just that you don't go to the bank to get it, because fundamentally money is money, right, Maestro?
That's right.
It's just a matter of which outlet or which venue that you go to. Right. Now, in my having given you all that definition, most of us have been just inherently conditioned to think, if I want to get some money, I go to the bank. Now, the bank is changing from the brick and mortar going down to a physical bank to now many of these resources are online or through other digital banking solutions, but they still fall into the realm of being regulated. All right. So from the standpoint, whether it's physical, whether it's non-physical, like we call it financial technology or fintech, if it's regulated, then it's not private money. However, if it's in that unregulated realm, and it's not entirely unregulated, it's just not federally regulated and oftentimes no state regulations, then it's in the realm of private money. So we want to invite you today to ask any questions that you have that relate to private money. So the next one that I get a lot is, as I made this issue of the bank, brought it up, is, why should I use, or what's the benefit of using a private money loan versus going to get financing from a bank? Well, there are two realms, and I want to address these separately because they're kind of shades of gray that relate to them. All right. Now, if you are a person seeking to go into business and you want to go to the bank for financing, there's a huge difference. Now, there are 13 different types of loans. Now, this is probably the first important education I can give everybody. 13 different types of loans that businesses typically use. And most people really have no idea about these different types of loans. So here at the Private Money Syndicate, one of the important things that we do is that we help to structure the right type of capital for the borrower. Now, from the standpoint that if you go to a bank to get financing, they're typically going to want to see tax returns. They're typically, and again, I can't say 100% of the time, they're going to want to see your tax returns for having been in business for 2 years, or your personal tax returns. They're going to want to have, you to have a higher credit score, probably in 700 or there above or higher, in order to get whatever capital that you want to get. Because again, the scrutiny that the government gives these lenders requires that they know that you're a well-qualified borrower. So the other thing when it comes to business loans is typically banks do not do business loans for startup businesses. All right. So if you're starting a business, don't have a track record of revenue, don't have any substance to where you established that business, then fundamentally you're not able to get a business loan from a bank. Now, they might give you a personal loan, but now here's a problem with that. And here's a problem with anything that you do from the bank. Even when I talk about real estate coming up next, it's going to show up on your credit report. And one of the biggest impediments, Maestro, that people start running into if they do get money from the bank, as far as their business is concerned, is it starts imposing and impeding their personal financial situation as it relates to their credit, and as it may relate to their debt to income ratio. Because as we know, most businesses are lean on revenue, probably running a loss in the early stages. And with that being the case, if they have access to capital, let's say from a bank, they're generally taking on debt as what they call a burn rate, as they're getting the legs under the business. They're buying the equipment, they're buying the inventory, they're doing all these things, they're marketing and advertising. All this is money going out and out, but the revenue slowly starts coming back in. And so from that standpoint, one of the biggest challenges, and I've seen it dozens of times working here, doing what we do at the Private Money Syndicate, where people have started a business, have gotten to that, almost to that threshold, but now they're tapped out at the bank. The bank won't loan them any more money because the bank doesn't want any exposure to more risk with that client. So if someone started with good credit, they might have 7 or 8 credit cards with $5,000, $10,000 limits, and they may have gotten a loan from the bank. Not that they're not doing the right things, not that their business is not a good idea, but they probably just, in all these cases, they've gotten as far as the bank will let them go. And now, because
their risk profile, right? Their risk profile.
Risk, you're absolutely right term, risk profile. Now, subset inside of that is because they've gone up in terms of what they have on their personal credit cards. Their utilization has gone from maybe 20% to 30% to 70%, maybe 100% now, and their credit score dropped. Okay, and then as they go out here, let me tell y'all what y'all do. I'm trying to tell you in the course of that what not to do. And then they go out there trying to get loans from other places. Now they got all these inquiries. Okay. And so everything they're doing, trying to survive and move forward, their business is taking them further down the rabbit hole, away from the probability of being able to get financing. That's why you don't want to go to the bank. I'm telling you, that's why you do not want to go to the bank when it comes to getting business credit to start a business. What you need to do is come to the Private Money Syndicate and let us work with you on private financing, where if we're able to get it for you, and in most cases we are, then it would not show up on your personal credit report. There's one condition of that, and that is if you default on the loan. Now, if you're a bad actor, they're going to slap that right on your credit report and let the world know. They're going to tell on you. But now, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, nobody would know the better. It does not impose on your personal credit at all, and it does not impose on your personal financial statement. It's about your business. So from the standpoint that the regulations that the government imposes that would create this environment that is not only difficult for people to get business financing, but in the course of the normal nature of how starting and growing a business runs, it's almost counter to the probability of someone being successful in launching and growing their business. Here at the Private Money Syndicate, for all of you who want to go into business, stay in business, we're here to help you. Not only
Mind
with,
your business.
I'm sorry, Maestro, say again.
Mind your business. All right.
That's yes, we're here to help you to mind your business. Here to help you to get the right type of capital. So, because here's another thing: people go online and they apply and they say, "I need $50,000." Now, let me give you some breakdown. Is that money you're going to use for advertising? Is that money you're going to use for buying equipment? Now, equipment can be computers, desks, chairs, sofas. It could be a 18-wheeler tractor trailer. It could be a Kubota tractor. It could be a commercial oven or a commercial walk-in refrigerator for a restaurant.
Right.
It could be signage for your exterior of your building. It could be any of those things, but you don't know that there's something called equipment financing. You just know you need $50,000 for things, or maybe that $50,000 is broken into 2 or 3 different things. Part of the consultation that we currently provide at no charge, and I notice I say currently because, hey, you better get in while you can, I'm telling you. All right, is to help you to find and utilize the right type of capital so that you increase your probability of success in getting it and then using it accordingly. And the last thing I'll say on this, as part of the value of working with the Private Money Syndicate, is most businesses start undercapitalized. Okay, they don't get enough money. And one of the things, and I could probably line people up out the door to tell, I said, look, if you don't get enough, don't do it at all. Make sure you have enough. It's kind of like, I say, building a bridge halfway across the river. You're not going to get to the other side. All this was an exercise of futility. It's like taking off, heading out of town to get to a destination, not having enough gas money and not enough fuel. You're not going to get there. Right. So as I talk a little bit further and engage on how having access to credit is so important, develop the plan to what the business needs as far as you can anticipate, and then factor in some reserves for the high likelihood that things aren't going to go according to plans. And let's go find the money that you need. That's what we do here at the Private Money Syndicate. Find the money that you need to actually go forward with your business, knowing that you have the capital resources to reach that growth point where the business is profitable, and then starting to not only service the debt, repay the debt, but also put profit into the business. Make the money that the dream envisioned. Nobody envisions suffering and pain and lack and want when they dream about a successful business. But you got to go through that process, and we're here to help you to get the capital that you need in order to do so. So that is the business side. Now, before I go any further, Maestro, any questions or comments before I get into the real estate side of things?
Yeah, so I have a question first, and then I'm going to address everything that's in the chat. My question would be for the people out there thinking about equipment financing for their business, right? Because that's one of the things that when I talk to my entrepreneur friends and they're discussing their business matters and stuff like that, a lot of times they're thinking about upgrading their equipment or something like that so that they can increase their production or whatever the case may be. Right. What is the lowest amount that you can lend for equement financing?
That is a
what's the entry question. Point? What's the entry point?
Now here's the thing about equipment, and I got to give a qualified answer. Whenever you have something, when I say something physical, then it is subject to be collateralized. Okay, right. So from the standpoint that whatever it is that you're buying, if it's computer, let's just say it's a copier. Let's just use some. The copier might be worth, the purchase price might be $3,000. One of these big ones. Okay,
right. Industrial stuff.
And so whether you're financing it or leasing it, which is another option, that collateral makes it easier for you to get the finance because they can come take it back if you don't pay. All right. So from the standpoint that I would say most loans for collateralized funding for equipment would probably be in the $5,000 range at the lowest end. Okay. And obviously it can go up to, we've worked on tractor trailers a lot. I think we got like 12 loans right now in the process of people in the transportation industry trying to find it, working to find financing for somebody who's buying a shrimp boat. Okay. And I look forward to financing a plane one of these days. Okay. So any of you who want to buy a private jet, come holler at a brother.
That's probably going to be me. That's probably
Yeah,
going to be me.
okay. Well, we can talk about that offline. I look forward to it. But my point is, and then too, one of the posts that I put on our Facebook, you need to make your car note tax deductible. Now, if you've got a business, you need to lease that vehicle through your business and make just about everything associated with the tax deductible. That's equipment financing. Okay, so Maestro, in response to your question, it would depend on the value of the item. And leasing can be for somebody who's well qualified, no money down, which means it's 100% financing. So the price is relatively immaterial, and whether the collateral or the borrower needs to have some adjustments in terms of value versus price, that's where the down payment comes into. So you might find yourself with a 5%, 10% down payment for equipment financing because the value of the asset is subject to being collateralized. And if you fail to perform on making your payments, then the lender has the right under the contract, just like a car being repoed, the income repo, whatever it is. Now, if it's something small, portable, like a computer, laptop or something, you might just have to pay for it straight out. But if it's anything more substantial than that, then the lenders are subject to use that as collateral in the transaction. But that was a really good question. And so for all of you, like I said, and this brings up so many different permutations, gosh, don't spend all your cash. Okay. That's right. The biggest reason why a lot of people can't get financing is they burn all their cash, then they want to go get a loan. Structure your plan, get your plan and structure your capital plan. You have to have a capital. How much money is it going to take and where do I get it from? The best solution is to leave all your cash in the bank if you have any. And it's not to say that you have to. And I want to get to that topic about credit in a few minutes. But, the key thing is how much money is it going to need? Then figure out, they call it uses and sources of funds. All right. How much do I need? What am I going to use it for? Where am I going to get it from? Some of those things need to be properly aligned to leverage what you do have in terms of resources and improve the probability of not only operational success, but also the financial success of your business. So we can help you with that. It might sound like a lot of wow. Okay. But all you need to do is go to privatemoneysyndicate.com. Go to one of those 200 buttons that say schedule a consultation.
Hey, quick and easy.
The maestro spent weeks putting all those buttons on our website. Okay. So please use them. Use them
strategically.
And I can explain all this as it applies to you and help you to get the money to power your dreams.
Okay. Now let me go ahead and address the comments, and I think we do have a question now in here. Okay. Horace Solomon is saying good morning. Eric Simpson is coming in and saying good morning, Tony Calloway. Happy Father's Day. Checking you out from the breakfast table. So he's having some breakfast and checking us out. Charles W. Bowie is joining us again. Says good morning and blessings to everyone today. Blessings back to you, brother.
Love you, Charles.
Edward Winton is saying happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there in the audience. Charles W. Bowie wishing all fathers a happy Father's Day. Bobby Jean Ford is joining us again.
Girl.
She says, good morning, everyone. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Charles W. Bowie has a question. Says, so Godfather, once you give a loan to a business, excuse me, you are saying that there are a consultant that we can reach out to who will guide us along. That there's a consultant that we can reach out to if once you loan someone for their business, give them a loan for their business. Is there a consultant that they can reach out to? Yeah.
Well, Charles, great question. I'm glad that you want me to clarify it. Now, our typical consultation is based on this premise that we don't want you to fail. I don't want to lend money to people when I don't feel that it's going to lend toward their success. And so that's just a personal disposition of mine. I know that my partner on the business lending side, Daniel Winton, shares that because, we want you to get it right. And as Maestro said earlier in the show, his dad would say, if you do it right the first time, you don't have to go back and do it over again. Now, most businesses fail for a variety of reasons, but from the standpoint, since we recognize that, we try to make that make you successful. And that's part of why we have all the different resources. When you go to privatemoneysyndicate.com, go to our About Us page, all those people, all those professionals are part of that consulting and support team to help you not only get started, but to help you succeed in business, the marketing, maestro with, I say if you need to get your technology right, social media, if you need operational support, Nikki McNeely and it's Vera Spring, and I mean the credit, the business loans, really. I mean, we got everybody here depending on what you need. Now, again, some of these resources might be at their fees. Some of it is just baked into the cake with working with us. But fundamentally, that's why we do what we do the way we do it. It's not just the money. The money is an ingredient. For any business, you have to have land, labor, raw material, and capital. All four of those things are to be used to create profit in the enterprise. So if you broaden out the term of land, that's your wherever you are, even if it's digital space. If it's labor, whether it's remote or if it's outsourced or if it's just you, raw material, whatever you use, sell, do, and then again the money. I mean, all of these four basic components, like the three primary colors, create the entire spectrum and rainbow of every different business that you see. But because we sit in this I'll say we sit at 30,000 feet and talk to dozens of people every week about many different types of loans, many different types of businesses, different industries in different countries, you'd be surprised the value of our brains when it comes to helping anybody starting up in the middle of or trying to grow a business. And we've got clients in a wide spectrum. Matter of fact, right now we're working with a gentleman to try to get capital for him to take on a massive construction project as part of a development in Saudi Arabia. And multi-million dollar, $60 million, $40 million real estate developments, and lots of startups. And as I mentioned, we have a large concentration of people in the transportation industries. And we can go on and on. I remember Milt asked about loans. One of the small loans I made was to a lady in Minnesota who needed $5,000 for her dog grooming business some years ago.
Okay.
So, if you have a dream, as we say, if you have a dream, go to privatemoneysyndicate.com, schedule that consultation, and tell us your dream.
Please do. Please do. Definitely. And so, just from what you were saying, and his question, so the answer is yes. I mean, you have people available to you, but initially, with that loan, before you even get the loan, I mean, the consultation is going to let you know whether or not it's good for you or not, right? You kind of that's just, as you said, that's your disposition. So you're going to let people know whether or not it's good for them at that particular moment in time or not, and also recommend through your breadth of knowledge, next steps. Even if it's not right for you right then, you can tell them, hey, these are your next steps. If this is what you really want to do, then these are the steps you need to take to get there, right? Which includes your Flipping Money Not Houses program, right?
Yes.
It includes, talking to any one of the other members of the Private Money Syndicate that can help you in their respective areas for whatever it is that you're looking for. Whether it's talking to me about getting a website. But as Tony said, and I think he said it just then, and I know he said it many times, that's the beginning. Getting the money is just the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really just kind of just the starting point of your dream coming to life, right? And so that having a plan for what you're going to do with the money after that is very critical. It's very critical. Yeah.
Yeah. And let me take this part of the conversation and I'll tell a story. I think it will capture a lot of content. There was a gentleman who came to us who had an active bankruptcy. He had a CDL and he wanted to get into the transportation industry. Now we set him up to get his credit improved so that we could qualify him for the private money financing. We set him up with Macwell Solutions, our partner, to help get his credit, let them do their magic, get his credit right. While we were working on that, which was about a 3-month process, We also connected him with Renzi Richardson, which is another one of our partners. She was on the show last week,
Last week, yeah.
as a matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
BHFL group, because he was a veteran and he was a minority, African-American male. And she started getting him certified for some of the government set-aside contracts. So by the time we got his credit together, he had found some equipment that he could get for below market value because, as I understand the story, lady's husband had died and she was just ready to get rid of it. So we got his credit to where we could get him the financing, and we used the fact that he got a government contract as collateral for the loan. They call that contract factoring. We factored his contract for what he was going to get for hauling for the government to get him the loan to buy this piece of equipment that was collateral as well. So despite the fact that he's still, I'll say they fogged the mirror so they couldn't see the bankruptcy, okay, long enough to get him qualified, even though his credit score was still a bit low. But he had two variables. He had a government contract, guaranteed payments as long as he performed, and he was buying something that was used as collateral. And we worked all that out of his dream. Now remember, are y'all hearing me this morning? He came to us with a dream. Everything you might have said was wrong or didn't exist. But because we understood what we understood and he was willing to walk the path, we put this brother in business. He's hauling vehicles now. And started maybe 4 or 5, well, it's been a while now, say about 6 months ago, but in 3 to 4 months thereabouts, we went from a dream to a business. And that can happen for everybody. That's why I say, tell us your dream. That's why we have our 10,000 dream. There are many people right now, Maestro, sitting, wishing, wondering, waiting, where if one call, what was that? One call, that's all. One call. And you might be.
We don't want to get any. We don't want to get any into that, but that's our thing.
But all I'm saying is, let us figure out how or when or what needs to happen. We bring all these resources together so that we can make it. And I'm trying to remember now. This one might not fit. I can't remember that Nikki helped him get his LLC set up. Now that might not fit. I might be getting that one confused, but that's why we have all these people and all these things to help power your dreams. Literally, it's not just the money; it's the money as part of. And so you give us a chance to do what we do, and we want you to do what you want to do, and that's what powering your dreams is all about.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, and it's amazing. It's amazing what you can do when you have the right tools. Exactly. I mean, it's a testament to that, right? And those tools might come in the form of people, right? And people who are no strangers to being of service to people. Again, when you call yourself a consultant and things like that, that should always be your focus. How can I serve the people that I consult? That's what you're trying to do. That's why even sometimes you have a conflict of interest, right? You got to kind of make sure you kind of navigate that, just because you want to make sure that you're serving all of your customers in the utmost of your abilities. You know what I mean? So that's definitely part of the mixture of the recipe, as they say, for success. And the relationships that have been built, and again, working with you guys, has taught me so much. Working with people who have these relationships already in place is invaluable. You can't buy that. You know what I mean? Because it's experience, it's time, it's effort. It's all of those things that go into life happening, exactly. Right? And you're living your life, and so they're living theirs, so their experiences are going to be different from yours. So you draw upon that, right? And that could get you to where you're trying to go faster. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't get there without it. It just means that it could get you there faster, because you don't necessarily have to have that experience. Yeah.
It's the benefit of the network. I mean, basically, if you look up now, when people hear the word syndicate, matter of fact, I was watching Casino last night with Robert De Niro,
good movie.
Joe Pesci, and of course they're talking about the mafia and all that stuff. But that's a reference to a term. The actual syndication happens in real estate. It happens in business. It happens on Wall Street all the time. That is a group of lenders or a
Individuals.
group of investment companies or any group of people coming together for a specific project. And there's a video that we did. It's on YouTube. It's how the Private Money Syndicate works. If you'll take the opportunity to go to youtube.com and go to the Private Money Godfather channel and subscribe, you got to subscribe and watch that. You'll see we
Smash that button.
yeah, hit the button. We're a co-op, okay, and we work together for the benefit of our clients. So I think Milt brought that into the discussion. Now I do want to shift because I guess our time is flying today, and if there are other questions, but let me hit on real estate. Real estate, fundamentally, between the bank and private money. When you go to a bank and apply for a mortgage, they underwrite you. Okay, they want to make sure that you can make the payments. You got the down payment. They want to trace where every dollar was born and how it was raised. Okay, in other words, to make sure it's not some funny laundered money or anything like that. So they got to see a source of funds and the history, literally. And they want to see 2 years of tax returns and all that stuff. And they want you to have good credit. And when you get the loan, it's going to be on your credit report. That mortgage is going to be on your history to the extent that it's going to show a mortgage payment. Now, let's say you want to develop a portfolio of property, because you're going to get a little bit better rate at the bank, just a little bit. And banks generally don't like to loan money to rehab properties.
Well, because it's less risk, right? Less risk.
Yep, that's right. They don't want the risk. But now here's the thing that I don't, well, there's probably a lot of things I don't like, but this is one of them. All right. When let's just say you got a property that you're collecting $1,000 a month in rent, and that the mortgage on that property is, let's say, $750. All right. So the bank is going to discount that mortgage, that rental income, and it varies. They used to discount it by 70%. About 25%. I think they're discounted by 30% now. So they're going to say that, oh, now you're only getting, on paper, they're going to say, even though you're receiving $1,000 a month, so you're really not receiving but $700. Now, remember, I said the mortgage payment is $750. So now you got a negative cash flow situation on their assessment of qualifying you for the loan. Now, let's contrast that with private money. In private money, fundamentally, the lenders want to know that you have experience, and you can get experience by partnering with somebody. And something else that we've done, they want to know that you have reserves to be able to close the transaction. Now, they're generally going to want to see you having 25 to 30% of the cash need to purchase the property. But listen to me, they don't want to know where the baby was born. They just need to know the money's in the bank. So now, if you got a credit line, which we got a bunch of clients right now who are going through between credit restoration and qualifying for lines of credit, and Daniel Winton with Operating in the Black have been getting people 40, 50, 75, over $100,000 in credit lines that they can put in the bank to show, hey, we've got the cash. Okay. And then the lender is more concerned about the property. What is the value of the property? What's the value going to be after you get it fixed up? And what kind of rent is it going to generate? Because the property is the collateral. The lender says that we have to take this property back. We want to have your whole recipe, and we want to know that it can pay for itself. And we're going to loan you 75% of the money to buy it, and we'll loan you 100% of the money to fix it. Because if you don't do it, then we'll get somebody to do it, and we'll sell it, or we'll rent it, or whatever we want to do, because the lender just wants the money back. So in a private money scenario, the property is way more important than you are. Whereas at the bank, they're looking at you as if the property wasn't going to generate any income. It's crazy. And for those of you who want to develop a portfolio of properties, the great thing is a private money loan does not show up on your credit report. It does not show up on your balance sheet, because it's a business-to-business transaction. We can only finance investment real estate. We can't do financing for owner-occupied properties. So from the standpoint, your LLC or your S Corp is buying this piece of real estate for all public record. That's the case, not you personally under your social security number. So it's not imposing on your personal credit. It's not imposing on your debt income ratio when you get ready to go buy a car, buy or refinance your house, or doing any of those kind of things. That's the beauty of it. And you can grow portfolio numbers of properties, like one of our clients, Mr. Jones, who, he went from a few to a whole bunch. He doesn't like to disclose the numbers in just 2 years because he was using private money and doing what the Godfather told him to do. That's how we developed the concept of flip money, not houses. He's been doing a great job, and we look forward to continue to do those kind of things with him. So again, bring us your dream. We'll help you to get your credit fixed. We'll help you to get the credit lines. If you want to invest in real estate, and everybody wants to invest in real estate and start a business, all you got to do is go to privatemoneysyndicate.com, schedule a consultation. Let us tell you what we have to work with you to do to get where you want to get quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's not a 20-year plan. I did a presentation this on the YouTube channel, privatemoneygodfather.com, 3-year plan to $1 million in wealth. It's easy. Using real estate. Now is the best time ever, even better than in the late 20s. 2000s, 2008, 9, and 10, to invest in real estate. Interest rates are lower now. The only problem is finding property because everybody's in the game but you. Yep, but you. And so what are you waiting for? Go to privatemoneysyndicate.com and schedule a consultation tomorrow. Monday. You can be in the game.
All right. We're gonna take Father's Day off.
We're gonna take Father's Day off. Yeah, that's right.
Hey, I think we earned it. I think we earned it. No. Well, so Charles W. Bowie says, "Thank you for clarification on funding the business. We'll schedule a consultation." So he's gonna schedule a consultation. He says, "There's a lot of experience out here in real estate who can keep us from making the mistakes as new business owners. That is key to successful operations." So yes, he's looking forward to having a consultation. I guess he's got some ideas about some real estate, and so yeah.
And Maestro and Charles, thanks for that. One of our coaching clients, Reginald Wetner, he was on the show. It was probably about a month and a half ago. But I meet with my Flip Money Not Houses coaching group every 2 weeks. And so he just closed on his first house. Congratulations to him last week. And he had another one under contract. Things just didn't work out for that one. But in the meeting, when he had gotten it under contract and was heading toward closing on the first one there, he was telling the guys in the group, said, "Man, I kept finding these houses and going to Tony, and Tony said, 'No, man, that's not a good deal.' But then turned around, somebody else had bought it. And he said, 'Man, I'm getting so frustrated, I want to slash his tires.'" But I said, now that might have been a good deal. It might have been a bad deal. Somebody was just a sucker. Okay. I said, it might have been a good deal for that person. That doesn't mean it was a good deal for you, Reggie. Okay. Now, based on what we discussed as far as under the Flip Money Not Houses program, what your objectives are, you got to find the right deal to fit that profile. Just because it's a deal doesn't mean it's the right deal. And again, I can't tell y'all the dozens of people who call us regularly who've gotten in trouble with a real estate deal. It was a bad deal. And now they're trying to, I'd say they're over in the ditch upside down and on fire, and they're expecting me to come rescue them. That's why I say we want 0% infant mortality with our real estate investment clients. I will not make a loan to you that's not in your best interest. Won't do it. If I was just one of those kind of guys, man, I'd be on a yacht every day. Okay, but it's not good business.
You be the wolf of real estate.
I'd be the wolf of real estate. That's right. It's not good karma either. And as I say, if it were my brother, and I love my brothers, I wouldn't do it to them. Wouldn't have them do it. Do all I could to talk them out of it. But to the extent that you give us an opportunity to power your dreams, we're going to make sure that it's a dream, not a nightmare. It's challenging enough for a rookie as it is. And what happens to so many people, and I survived my rookie seasons. Okay. That's why I'm so adamant about that, because there are things that can happen that you have no knowledge, because you read the books and everything. It's clean theory, and theory is always clean, but application, you got to deal with reality. You got to deal with people. You got to deal with events. You got all these factors that somebody can help you to prepare for and help you to navigate through when it comes to, and you've heard it say it, it's true. You make your profit in real estate when you buy. And it's not necessarily, you don't realize profit then, but you set everything up, because almost everything in real estate is math. It's almost all financial. The only part that is mechanical is the contractor doing the rehab. And we are we have some systems and some
which is still
strategies to help
math. Yeah.
minimize and mitigate the risk associated with that. But it all goes back to making a good purchase and having the right financing structure to help that to all work out.
Yeah. And again, I love to tell people this because one of my passions is teaching, kids and adults computer science skills. But one of the things I always tell people is math is in everything. You can't get away from math. That's just, I mean, it makes up every single thing in existence. There's a math, either it's a measurement or either it's some type of mixture or whatever. It's a lot of different variations of math, but it's some, if it's just 1 plus 1, even if it's just a relationship, 1 plus 1 equal 2. I mean, that's it's math, right? So you can't get away from that. So one of the things that you have to kind of come to grips with is that you need to, if you don't want to deal with the math, get you somebody who will. Get somebody who understands it. It's just like any other asset of your business, or aspect of your business rather. If you don't want to master it and be the captain of it, then hire somebody who will. That way it still performs well for you versus just doing it haphazardly.
I thought you were going to say
I
something
know,
there.
right? This is a family show. We're not gonna say
I thought you were about to say something there.
that. I know, right? No.
Put a bleep in on the show.
Right. No, so you want to make sure that it's done correctly. So kind of like me talking. You want to make sure it's done correctly. So, but yeah.
Very, very, very good. I've got one other topic I want to touch on, but now, are there any other questions or comments in the from the audience?
So we got Edward Winton saying, shout out to Matt. Shout out Matt for the $1,000,000 credit line you guys got for him.
Oh, okay, cool.
And Satish VM Satman said, patience is a virtue. Trust is important. Don't dream, plan, speak it into existence. Do it, actions speak. That's right.
Awesome.
That's right. Actions speak
I
louder than words.
I appreciate. I want to really put some emphasis. Daniel Winton. I'm not quite sure where Edwin comes in. Maybe I don't know his real name. Daniel, as I know him with operating in the black, just said shout out one of our clients. He said working with them got him $1 million credit line, 1 million with an M. So the next thing I was going to bring up, Maestro, is a question: how big a loan can you get with private money? How big a loan can you get with Private Money Syndicate? Well, if 1 million is not big enough for you, the biggest loan. I've got witnesses, so to speak. We didn't close it because the borrower went with a competitor instead of us. But the largest approval that we have gotten, and this was in 2020, was for $5 billion. Yes, right. $5 billion with a B. And so we look forward to the day when we can do a loan with another loan with a B in it. Okay. But from the standpoint,
another B.
the thing about it is our job is to find the money. That's what we do. So how big is your dream? We've got facilitators like right now, it's a co-broker relationship where we're looking to fund two $5 million deals, a $30 million deal. The same co-broker, it says there's someone in Hawaii who has a $95 million project that she's taught the actual developer about the funding that we could be able to bring to the table for them. And so we got to get back. So I don't know if that was going to happen, but it's in conversation. And I'm saying this because I made the comment earlier about consultation while it's free, and it's part of us doing the loan. I mean, granted, and I've had a number of these multi-million-dollar funding facilitations that it was a bad deal. I mean, the way the money would be structured did not fit the project. The project was not poorly developed to where it would pass underwriting. I mean, all these things, and what we strive to do in as many cases as possible, which is different than a bank, which I was telling these folks trying to get this $5 million, is most of the time, in their case, we don't charge anything up front Whereas if you go to the bank, you end up paying an application fee probably at the least. And a lot of these big transactions for these commercial real estate projects and so on and so forth. Yes, I hadn't talked about commercial real estate, but yeah, these are commercial real estate projects. You're going to pay thousands of dollars for your due diligence fee and underwriting. Most of the time, we do that with nothing up front. If we book the deal, it gets baked into the cake. And so, from the standpoint that, in these cases, that can make the difference, because after you pay somebody $10,000, $15,000 in due diligence fees, and they come back to you with a crappy loan, you kind of feel inclined to take it because you just spent a whole bunch of money to get it. See, that's the booby trap. I call those things booby traps. I try as best we can, and sometimes we got to go that route. And it's not us, it's the lenders. We got to find a lender when we look for money that's going to serve the project. And if we find the right one, and that's a rule, that's one we got to play with. But is most of the time we'll find somebody that there's no risk. Okay, the first layer of filtration is us making sure we're not wasting our partners' time when it comes to bringing them deals. But sometimes it's just a matter of reworking the deal. Sometimes it's a matter of further planning, more due diligence, right. Getting the right capital structure in place. And all that is part of what we do. So whether it's highly sophisticated and involved in the millions and billions of dollars, or somebody, like I said, the little old lady in Minnesota who needed $5,000 for a dog grooming business to make it through the winter because it was snow so deep people couldn't get out and bring their dogs, I guess. We love our clients. And one of the things that Maestro knows I talk about all the time is, and I appreciate Daniel Winton operating in the black, and the majority of our partners have a high level of customer service acumen. Okay, we love our customers. We want to give you that Ritz-Carlton level of service, and that means we want you to understand that we care. And with that caring, like I said, we're not going to do any harm. Kind of like in the medical field, first rule is do no harm. But the most important thing that we can do beyond that is to power your dreams. I said it and I mean it. There's never been a loan application submitted that didn't have a loan application never been submitted that didn't have a dream attached to it. And that means something to people. It means something to me. So when you share your dreams, when you tell us your dreams, we really do want to make those dreams come true with all the resources and all the people we have supporting the Private Money Syndicate. So please go to privatemoneysyndicate.com, schedule a consultation, and tell us your dream.
Hey,
Maestro, I've said about all I got to say. If anybody got a question or if you want to take us on home, I'll leave it up to you.
No questions. Nikki Johnson is joining us, says good morning. So
Hey,
shout out to Nikki for joining us. And yeah, no, I mean, again, I think it's more important for people to understand and realize that there are other options. So if you find yourself going to these places and being turned down, just understand and tell a friend to tell a friend
right.
that there are other options. There are other options, other viable legal options that could get you to where you're trying to go, and not just because one of the things one of my other passions is talking about mental health, right? Because sometimes people get into depression and they get into these modes, and they don't want despair. They don't want to. They don't feel like that their passion, their idea, their dream is worth even pursuing because of some of these blocks and that are put in place that are very hard to kind of to make it over. You're right, exactly. And so, with that being said, hey, come to us. We'll help you in whatever way possible that's best for you, and then just let your dream fly. At that point, let it fly.
Exactly. Well, hey, I want everybody to know that we appreciate you. Again, happy Juneteenth and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I do want to encourage everybody to not only like, follow, but also share the Mind Your Business show on Facebook. We got to grow.
Smash that button.
If y'all want to do something for me as a Father's Day gift, I want everybody who has not yet gone to the YouTube and go to Private Money Godfather channel and subscribe. I would love to wake up tomorrow and have doubled our subscribers, because not only did you, but you told some people, share one of those YouTubes with somebody who has business aspirations or is in business or a real estate investor, and ask them to please subscribe, because that just shows us that you love us too. All right. And as we have our 10,000 Dreams Challenge roll out, you guys are going to be the first ones to know. And it's kind of like a race for the prizes, folks. You want to be on the front row, not the last row. And as I say, every Saturday that we come to you live, thank you, Maestro, for getting us on the air. Appreciate you, brother. You're awesome. And if you folks want to get your technology right, you got to go to Silver Lining Consulting LLC, and that's the guy that's going to do it for you. And if you're going to go in business and stay in business, you got to mind your business. Thank you so much. Maestro, you can take us on home.
And thank you, Tony, as always. And we appreciate you all for watching. And like you said, just make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. You know, there's a lot of information out there. You know, now in today's day and age, you know, you can't use "I don't know" as an excuse. You gotta go out and do your due diligence. You gotta go out and research it and go for what you want. Go for what you
Right.
want. You know. And with that, I'm gonna say, hey, y'all have a great weekend. I'm gonna have a great one. I'm gonna spend it with my daughter the best way a father can. And so
Amen.
I'll talk with y'all later. Y'all be good, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.